Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, or whatever time it is in your part of the world. Um, can you let me know if you can hear me and see me? I'm not sharing a screen for a change. So if you can just let me know in the chat area, you can just put in a little message saying, hi, you can hear me, or whatever it may be. And we can proceed with this week's webinar. Got some exciting stuff to share, some training to give, and some questions and answers. Well, I've got the answers if you've got the questions. Always remember that the quality of the answer will depend on the quality of the question. If you're going to say to me, how do I get traffic to my website? It's not a very valid question. So, okay, we've got people, yes, can hear and see, yes, good. Okay, so we might as well progress. Now, the reason that I initially started doing these 10 minutes earlier was because I was a bit more organized before Christmas, and I used to play little motivational videos that I found, things that I love, for the first 10 minutes to get people into the mood and the spirit of things. But I've not been very organized since Christmas. We had the Christmas period, and then I had to make a trip to the States. I was away. That threw me off and put me back a bit. I got back and we had illness in the home, and it was not me that was ill at that stage, but a couple of weeks ago, I got laid low with it. Now, normally I shake everything off in 2-3 days, no problem. That's it. But this time it's been very different. It's been about 15 days now. I'm feeling a lot better today than I was yesterday, and I was a lot better yesterday than I was the day before. Just to give you an idea, the last 2 days I've probably done more work than in the previous 15 days. And I'm still not up to speed anywhere near. I'm probably still operating something like 50% or less. Normally, I can outwork anybody on the planet, unless they enjoy what they do as much as I do. Because when you enjoy things, it's no longer work, and you just want to keep going. You just want to do more and more. And so it's not uncommon for me to do what a lot of people would call work for 18 hours in a day. And be massively productive in those 18 hours. However, that's not been the case. I've managed to accomplish virtually nothing in the last 2 weeks, apart from what I managed to do yesterday and today. So it's an example of how things can affect you. It doesn't matter how well you've planned things. It doesn't matter how focused you are. It doesn't matter how good your intentions are. If you are not 100% attuned in all areas of your life, it will affect your productivity. Another example of this, and it sprang to mind as I was taking the dog for a walk just before I came back to do this webinar. About, how long ago? I don't know, 40, 50 years ago. No, not quite 50. Probably about 40 years ago. I had not been married long, and I went out to Bermuda to do some work in Bermuda. And I was there for a few months on a special contract. And every day I was there, as I say, I'd not been married long. I wanted to be home. I wanted to be back with my wife. We spoke, of course, and we there were no emails in those days. It was before the internet. No video messaging online or anything like that. But we did write, and we did speak on the phone on occasions. But it's not the same as being there with somebody, as you're all well aware. And so for recreation, I used to play quite a bit of table tennis against some of the people that were on the same contract. And there were a couple of people, but one person in particular that always used to beat me. He was a lot better table tennis player than me. And we'd end up, I don't know, he'd beat me if I had a real good day, 21-12 or something like that. Anyway, on the day that I was going to be coming home, and I was just waiting for my transport to the airport, I said, "You here? Do you want to pass some time with me? Have a quick game of table tennis?" He said, "Yeah, why not? Might as well give you a last thrashing." So we set up and we started to play table tennis. And because I was in such a good mood, because everything was going right for me, because I was heading home, and after completing my contract, everything was done. I was vibrant. I was excited, and I wasn't a better table tennis player. I wasn't more athletic, but my mental attitude was such that nothing could stand in my way because I was going home. And we started playing this table tennis, and he started sweating at the other end. And he said, "Fram," he said, "well, what the hell's going on?" Because I was just playing like somebody had not played against ever before. I was returning shots that normally would have beaten me. I was playing shots that normally I wouldn't have been able to play. And as I say, I wasn't better technically. There was nothing I was doing. I hadn't overnight suddenly become a table tennis champion. The only thing that was different was my mental attitude. And he did beat me, but it was it was a game that went on, and he beat me something like 25-23 in the end. And he said, "I can't understand it." And I had a lot of time to think about it because I'm on the plane at home and everything. And the only thing that was different was the fact that I was in such good mental shape, so happy with life, happy with the way things are. And that is so important in everything that you are doing. Every aspect of your life, every aspect of your business. If you're happy and contented and you feel like you're doing the right things, you will get better results. If you're struggling along and not really wanting to do it, but making yourself do it, and your intentions are just to make some money because I need some money, rather than to provide people with value and to be able to spread this beautiful message that you have to give people, then the results you get are going to be reflected by what's going on up here. It doesn't matter if you use the same words as somebody else. It doesn't matter if you're writing the same ads. It doesn't matter if you're copying and pasting them in exactly the same place. You will get different results based on what's going on up here. I'm not a scientist. I'm not anybody. I'm not a psychologist, a doctor, or anything. But I know this for a fact. I've seen it in so many ways, in so many occasions. I've had people that have asked me how I'm making this amount of money here. What am I doing? How am I recruiting so many people? And I say, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I tell them exactly. And I say, this is what I'm doing. I'm placing this ad in these places, and I'm doing it every day. And they take the same ad and post it in the same places, and they do it every day, and they don't get the same results. Now, there are other reasons that can come into this, because, and I want to talk a little bit about that in a bit, but in general, if we have a number of people doing the same thing, and I've tested this with groups of like 10 people, and the people that I know are more positive, the people that I know usually are there, more enthusiastic, get better results. They're doing the same thing as the people that are getting really bad results. The only difference is the attitude, the vibrations that you are putting out to the world. And I don't know whether there's any way of ever proving that. I don't know whether there's any way of ever establishing that in a scientific way. But personally, I know that that is a fact. If your vibrations are in tune with what you are intending, and they are honorable and they are right, then you will get better results than if they're not. If you're in a happy frame of mind, you will get better results than if you're not. If you are contented with what you're doing and you're accepting abundance into your life, it will flow more to you. If you are constantly thinking, oh, I don't have enough for this, I don't have enough for that, how am I going to pay this? You're going to attract that type of thing into your life. You're going to attract more debt. You're going to attract more bills. You're going to attract more struggle. But once you start opening yourself up and saying, what a beautiful day this is. We got a bit of sun over there. This morning I went out for a walk with the dogs, and it was a beautiful sunny morning, but there were clouds coming in and it was just starting to rain, and there was a magnificent rainbow, a full arc over the sky, wide with vivid colors. One of the best rainbows I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen lots and lots of very good ones. But the one I saw today was absolutely majestic, and that is abundance that everybody can share. And yet so many people say, oh, it's a rainbow, I've still got to pay my bills, I've still got to take the time to thank God for the beauty, for the abundance of wonderful things that are in your life. And the more you express gratitude for everything that you have, the more abundance will flow into you. And I know a lot of you perhaps saying, oh, this is a lot of nonsense. It's not really true. You know, about how long ago, when I was left the States? I left the States in 2007. This last time, I still have homes there, but I've not been, well, I have been back to the States, but I've not been back living there since 2007. And it would probably be 10 years before that. Yeah, so 1997, where are we now? Yeah, probably almost 20 years ago. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a master hypnotist and a certified hypnotherapist. But most of the work I did with people in hypnosis was for corporations. And I would take their salespeople and I would make them better salesmen. And it was a really simple process, because what happens is people have an idea of how much they're worth. And whether it be 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, or whatever it is, that's what they'll make. That is influenced to a large extent by the people that they mix with, their closest friends. If you take an average of probably the 5 closest friends that a person has, and average their income, that person will be probably within 10% of that average income. And it's all to do with people believing that they're at this level, believing that is their value, that is what they're worth. And it's verified by the fact that their friends are at the same level, and they're all at the same level, and that is where they belong, if you like. So you take a salesman who is working a really bad, difficult patch territory for a company, and he's managing to make $10,000 a month, which is exceptionally good for that patch. So the company says to him, "You're doing really well. We've got a great patch over here that produces 3 times as much as that, and it's just become available because you've been doing so well. We're going to put you in that patch." And the company thinks, now he's going to make 30,000 because he's really good at what he does, and that's going to make us more money because the last guy in this patch was only making 20,000, and so on. But what happens is they move this man who was making 10,000 into this potentially 30,000 patch, and they find that he's still only making 10,000, even though he should be making a lot more. And they've moved somebody else who was in a pretty good patch, but they've had to move him over to fill this other patch, and he was making, I don't know, perhaps he was making 12,000 before, and they put him into this really bad patch where this other guy was making 10,000, and this other guy starts making 12,000 in that same patch. It's what they believe they are worth they make. It's not the potential for the area. It's not the potential for sales. It is what they believe is their value. And that is what people make. And as I say, that's verified by the fact that they say, oh yeah, my friend is here, we're on the same sort of level, we're on the same, they all make the same sort of money as me. And so the work I was doing for corporations was I was taking these salesmen and I was helping them, because a hypnotist doesn't actually hypnotize anybody. Nobody can hypnotize you. Nobody can hypnotize me, except me. And in your case, you. Hypnosis is always self-hypnosis. All the hypnotist does is help somebody self-hypnotize themselves. They guide them through a process that puts them into a hypnotic trance, but it's self-induced. And so I was hypnotizing these people, putting them into a trance, and through that trance, what you can do in a trance is you can bypass logic, you can bypass paradigms, you can bypass all the things that are involved in what's been learned over the years, what's been inbred into you, that to make money you've got to work hard. This is the type of person you are. This is the level you're at. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. All these things which you've learned through experience, through people's often good intentions in trying to help you, but they're not accurate. What you can achieve is limitless, but you've learned through logic and various other means that that's not the case, and you have this perceived value that you have. Well, you can bypass all that in a trance. You eliminate the logical part of the mind and you get directly into what a lot of people call the subconscious. I prefer to call it the superconscious, because it's an area where miracles happen. It's an area where there is no limit. It's an area where everything is possible, and you can do that in a hypnotic trance. And so what I used to do is I'd take these people, and once they were in a trance, then I would offer them suggestions that their value was higher than they'd ever thought before. And we would delve into things that they'd done and achieved that were above and beyond what they would normally do. And we would use those to verify and cement the fact into their mind that their value was actually higher than they had previously perceived. And by doing that, once they went back out and started working again, their income increased, so the company's sales turnover increased, and so everybody was happy, and I was happy because I was getting $400 nearly 20 years ago for a 20-minute session. So that is the power of the mind. That is what the mind can do, what it can restrict you from doing, and what it can empower you to do. And what you've got to be careful is that you train and program your mind for empowerment and not for restriction. So many people are restricted in their lives through, and I say through well-meaning education, because the people that are teaching them don't know any better. People that are educating others in schools and colleges have only been through an academic system. They've never been in the real world. They've never achieved anything beyond passing exams or this type of thing. They've never been people who have broken through this social barricade that has been built around them. They've lived in it and they believe it exists, and so they can only teach what they know. And so we find that what we're getting passed on and passed on and passed on to people is these limiting beliefs, that there is only so much that a person can achieve. And you'll see why what are known as public schools in England are actually private schools. Go figure. They're places like Eton and Harrow, the famous schools, Rugby. These are private schools that you have to pay to get your kids into. And these private schools produce more leaders of industry, politicians, leaders in political fields. I hope everything is okay with you. My computer went black, and we've still got a black screen. Let's just see what happens with that. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to continue along these lines. I'm looking at my monitor. That seems to be okay, but I'll continue and hope that things are okay. I can't see chat boxes. I can't see anything like that. So there may be a stage at some time that I'm going to have to reboot this page or something. And if we do that, then I may lose you. So I don't want to do that at this stage. I want to just carry on and keep going with what we've got. And I've lost track of where exactly I was up to. But essentially, what I'm talking about is making sure that your mindset is in tune with your goals and that you have a purpose in life that is in tune with where you really want to be. Now it looks like we're still broadcasting, so my camera's still working. It's just that my screen here is black. I'm not sure what's happened with that. I won't risk trying to refresh the screen. I'm just going to keep on. So this is getting back to what I've been talking about for the past 2 weeks. There are 7 things that are required to be successful online. And the first of those 7 things is your mindset. And if you get the other 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which I'll be talking about in coming weeks, all down pat, and you get really good at them, and you ignore number 1, which is the mindset, there is a very strong possibility that you will fail with your online business. On the other hand, if you get your mindset right and you embrace what I'm talking about now, and your mindset is fully in tune with where you want to go, and you've laid out your plan mentally in every way, you've decided where you're going to get to, you've decided when you're going to get there, then the how, those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will take care of themselves. You will find that there will be a way that will just happen for you and will work for you. And so it's more important than the other 6 elements, because the other 6 elements, without the right mindset, you're always going to be struggling. You're always going to be trying to push a massive boulder up a mountain. Whereas if your mindset's right, you'll still have struggles, and you'll still have disappointments, and you'll still have failures, but you'll overcome them better, and you will start to recognize challenges as a way of growth, a way forward, a way to get you where you want to be with your life. It's becoming an entrepreneur, and an entrepreneur sees things in a different way. Excuse me, I'm still not 100%, and I need to keep lubricated, otherwise I start coughing, and we don't want that. Just a tip, somebody gave me an idea. This is an old medicine bottle, but it's actually filled with ginger wine. And somebody said to me, when you feel that tickle, that dry tickle, just have a sip of ginger wine. So that's got ginger wine in it. So if I really feel, then I'll be taking a little sip of the ginger wine, and that'll just hopefully prevent me from bursting into one of these coughing fits, which have been occurring. So lost track again a little bit, but entrepreneur, yeah, an entrepreneur is somebody. It's not somebody that's self-employed. A self-employed person is somebody that does a job that doesn't have a boss other than themselves. Most self-employed people that I've met really frustrate me because they won't see the big picture. They won't make that leap to becoming an entrepreneur, and they're often working far harder than they would if they had an employer instead of being self-employed. Quite often they're making less money, and if they're making more, they're probably doing 3 times the work for it that they would have been if they were employed in a conventional way. And to try and get those people to see the difference is very difficult. And that's why I want you to really concentrate on becoming entrepreneurs rather than being self-employed. I want you to realize and understand that an entrepreneur looks for opportunities. He looks for ways where he can have no limits on what he can achieve. He looks for ways which will give him time freedom as well as financial freedom. So he's able to see the big picture. He's able to see that if he takes something here and uses it, it can expand things in a big way. He's able to see that his value is enhanced by investment in things that he needs. And by enhancing his value, he enhances his income without requiring to spend more time. You see, a self-employed person increases their income by working harder, working longer hours, working more time. They don't have time to enjoy it. And I know about that as well. I mean, I've been there. When my wife and I first started in business, we had pet shops to start with, and then we had restaurants and sandwich bars and delicatessens, and we'd work 18 hours a day, and we had a good income, but we didn't really have a lot of time to enjoy it. We were working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. It wasn't that it was a disastrous time in our lives. We actually enjoyed working, and we enjoyed building the income, and we enjoyed doing these things, but it wasn't the answer. We were self-employed, and as we progressed into entrepreneurship, we started to understand that there were things that we needed to do differently. We needed to make investments that would help us to grow, and with that growth we would become more valuable, and by becoming more valuable we would generate greater income for less time. Okay, who makes lots of money? Top sportsmen. Why do they make lots of money? Because they have a value which is high, because they entertain massive audiences, and because they entertain massive audiences, there is lots of revenue generated from those audiences, and that filters down to the sportsman. It's not perhaps that he's an entrepreneur. These are specialized people that have found a way to use natural talents to an extent where they've gone on and become top athletes, and are getting rewarded for it. The same way that top actors, because they entertain large numbers of people, get paid high sums. If you have a website that attracts millions of visitors, then that website is of extreme value, because people will pay you to advertise on that website. I think if there are obvious examples like Facebook and Google and Gmail, all these websites, what business are they in? They're essentially in generating cash through being of value to lots of people. And the more value you can offer to the more people, then the more money you'll make. If you look at somebody like a brain surgeon, top brain surgeon might earn $1 million a year. I've no idea. I'm just guessing. $1 million a year, a bit more maybe. But that's going to be his limit, because he's still exchanging his time and his skills for something that is needed by a limited number of people. Now, it might be needed by a lot of people, but he can only cater to a limited number of people, because he's only got one pair of hands, he's only got one set of skills that he can use. So that is limiting. An entrepreneur is looking for ways that he can expand his business in a way that there are no limits. So if you had a brain surgeon who was an entrepreneur, then perhaps he would go out and train other brain surgeons and take a percentage of their money or whatever. I don't know. But that's the difference. So an entrepreneur, they look for opportunity, and they look for an opportunity that has no limits, and will then pay them not just for financial freedom, excuse me. I don't know whether that's supposed to be a pleasant drink or not, but mind you, I don't drink, so. But I don't find it particularly pleasant. But it does do the trick. It gets rid of the tickle for a while. Yeah, time freedom as well as financial freedom. And that's what you should be looking for. Now, as an entrepreneur, it's attractive to start a business that's online because you can do it with limited capital. And I say limited because you can't really do it with no capital. I get a lot of people that come to me and they say, oh, I want to make 10,000 a month. And I want to make that in the next 90 days. And then after that, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I ask them, what have they got to start with? And they say, well, nothing, you know. They're not prepared to put anything in. And you've got to be prepared to put in before you can get out. Whether or not they have any capital is for them to decide. They obviously have sufficient cash to have an internet connection. They probably have a mobile telephone, maybe a smartphone, maybe a computer as well. They are doing things in their lives that they are spending money on. But when it comes to starting a business, they're not prepared to put in any investment. And if you were to look at starting an offline business, most offline businesses, you'd be looking at a minimum of $50,000 just to get your toe in the water. So an online business, you can start with limited capital for an unlimited opportunity. It's global, it's worldwide. The internet goes everywhere. It's in every country in the world, I believe. It's there are billions and billions of people out there, but don't expect to reach out and make a fortune without putting in some cash. You need cash and you need time investment to be successful. And that is part of your mindset. You've got to understand that you're going to have to do this. You've got to understand that it's going to be essential for you to make investments and to select investments that are going to increase your value to other people. Because unless you have a value to somebody, what do you have to sell? You know, you can go out and sell somebody blocks, you know, blocks of chocolate. You could go and sell blocks of chocolate. Most of the world like chocolate. There's a massive market out there for chocolate. But why should they buy it from you? You've got to be able to increase your value to the people that you're selling to. Because if you don't increase your value, they're not going to buy whatever it is you're selling. Even if it's a block of chocolate that they like, they're going to go and buy that wherever they can get it for the lowest possible cost or the most convenient place. And if you're neither of those, then you've got to find some other reason. You've got to provide additional value to your people. Make sense? How much capital do you need? I think people should be looking at $5,000 and up to start an online business, but I know that some of you won't have the confidence to do that. And I'm talking about confidence rather than cash, because it's been proven over and over and over again that if people want something enough, cash doesn't stand in the way of them getting it. If they believe it's what they want and what they need, they will go out and get it regardless of the cash situation. As an example of that, imagine, I'm not going to sell you my car because it's not a very popular car, even though I like it. But let's suppose I had a Porsche or something like that, that a lot of people want. They've got these aspirations of owning a Porsche. And let's suppose a Porsche costs $100,000. And let's suppose that I said to somebody who tells me he's got no money, you can have my Porsche, which is brand new, never been out of the garage, for $10,000 just because I want to get rid of it. That person would find a way of raising $10,000 to get that Porsche. It's a fact. People constantly buy televisions that they neither need nor can afford because they want them. They borrow the money, or they take it out of this savings pot and put it in here, or they do without going for meals or something. There's ways that they do it. And it's not just televisions, it's anything. It's whatever people feel they need and want. Cash isn't the obstacle. They find a way of raising the cash, borrowing it, making it, whatever. There are always ways that people can find to make money. And so that's why I talk about commitment rather than cash. If you're not committed to yourself, if you're not committed to your business, if you haven't got the right mindset, that is when you say, oh, I can't afford it. I'm not going to spend that much on that business, because you lack belief, you lack commitment. It's not because you lack the cash. The cash, if you had sufficient commitment and belief, you would find a way of raising the cash. So I personally believe $5,000 minimum. Now, I'm not saying you should go out and spend your $5,000 all at once by buying into some $5,000 program in the hope that you're going to make some money with it, because you're going to be able to sell that to other people for $5,000. And I've seen a lot of that go on in the past. That isn't the way to get into an online business. If you've got 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever, it's a good starting point, but you're going to need to buy paid advertising, and it's not going to work when you first start. So you're going to have sufficient capital to tide you over while you're testing and testing and testing until you get it into a situation where it's running at a profit. Also, I get people that join businesses, quite often multi-level marketing businesses, and they come to me and they say, how can I get people to buy my products? Everybody says it's too dear. It probably is too dear. Most of the products that are sold by multi-level marketing companies have inflated prices so that they can pay the commissions that they do through the number of levels that they do to keep the distributors happy. And most multi-level marketing companies have armies of distributors who are all buying the products on a monthly basis to keep them in benefit so that they can go out and theoretically sell these products to other people. And 97% of the people that are involved in these multi-level marketing companies never make any money. And while they're in there, they'll swear to you that this is the best product that's ever been made available to mankind. But after 3 or 4 months, when they found they're not making any money and they moved on to the next multi-level marketing company or whatever it may be, the product now, oh, well, I found out it didn't work. It wasn't as good as they said it was. It was, okay. This is the way that it works. And I know because I've been fortunate. I built some very large businesses in MLM, and I've been in that top 1 to 3% that are making the money, to find that everybody, 40, 50,000 distributors below you, are making nothing, and they're just buying stuff every month in the hope that they're going to make something. So you want to look at what you're doing. It's not a case of getting involved in a business and then throwing year 5 or 10,000 at it to make it work. Because it doesn't matter how much money you've got, if you are not able to recruit and sponsor people with small amounts of cash, you're not going to be able to do it with large amounts of cash. And for most people to build a business in multi-level marketing, no matter how hard they work, they're not going to succeed because they lack credibility, they lack celebrity status, they lack whatever it may be that attracts people to the people that are making the money, the people that do build the business. And even if they do everything that they've been told, and they do it with passion and everything else, most of them will never build a profitable business. And I'm afraid those are the matrix. That's the way it is. That doesn't mean that multi-level marketing doesn't work. It just means that it won't work for most people. So how do you get people to buy your product that's overpriced? With difficulty is the simple answer to that. But you've got to build value into it somehow. How do you recruit people into your business? You've got to build value into it. You've got to become valuable to those people. Most multi-level marketing companies will teach you to either lead with the product or lead with the opportunity. And they're both wrong. You have to lead in any sales situation with yourself. It's you that people are going to buy. It's you that people are going to be joining. And if you come over with the sufficient perceived value, then they will join you. And if you don't, they won't. Whether they like the product or they like the opportunity or not is very, very secondary. It's all about you. And this is the same no matter what you're selling, whether it's business to business, whether it's business to consumer, whatever it may be, it narrows down to person to person. It's you creating a relationship with somebody else of trust and respect so that they are prepared to buy from you. And most of you will not be able to do that easily in a multi-level marketing business. Most people, I find, get a product and then say, where should I go to sell it? And that is back to front. What you should be doing is you should be looking at what people want to buy. What are people buying now? What do people want in their lives? What is the best-selling thing that's available out there now? Okay? Because there is a market. There is a hungry, rabid market. There are people already saying, I want that. I want that. Give me, give me, give me that. And then you say, okay, that is the marketplace. I found a marketplace that is hungry for, I don't know, vegetarian cookbooks. So then you can go and go to that market and say, what kind of vegetarian cookbooks do you want? Anybody interested? And they all say, oh yeah, I'm interested in vegetarian cookbooks. That's what I've been looking for. I want one that's about aubergines, and I want one that's about mushrooms, and I want one that's about, and you say, okay, I can get these for you. Line up here. And then you go and look for the product, because getting the product is easy. It's getting the market that people struggle with. So look for the market first. You shouldn't be saying, oh, I'm going to build this great product. Now, who can I sell it to? It should be, what do people want? Okay, where can I get that? I'm going to sell it to them. See the difference? You've got to be looking at things from the right perspective. And you'll still have challenges. You'll still have people that say, oh, this isn't the right color binder that I wanted my book in, or whatever it may be. There'll always be people that aren't happy with some aspect of things. So there are always going to be challenges. But, excuse me. There are always going to be challenges, but they will be less and they will be easier to overcome if you go about things the right way. So you want to be looking for where the fish are feeding. If you're looking at an angling sort of analogy, I'm not a fisherman either, but it's one that's used often. You don't fish in an empty pond, or you don't fish where the fish aren't feeding. If you've got fish that are feeding now and you throw your hook in and it's got the right bait on it that these fish love, bang, you're going to be pulling fish out one after the other. But if you're throwing a hook baited with a worm into a pond that's got no fish in it, all you're going to have in that pond is a hook baited with a worm. Or if the fish are not hungry, or they only eat maggots or whatever, I don't know, you're not going to catch anything. So you need to, first of all, find the market, and then getting the product or the service for that market is an easy point of view. You go to the market, you say, okay, this is what you want. Is that right? They say, yeah, that's what we want. You say, okay, I can get it for you. What do you want with it? What are the bells and whistles that you want on it? What extras do you want? What would you like with it? What are the best points that you would like to be included? And you find out exactly what they want, and then you say, okay, I can get that for you. And then you can go out and get it. And getting the product or getting the service and providing it is the easy part. So don't worry about that. Don't do things the wrong way around. Don't go and say, oh, I have this wonderful product, but I can't find anybody to buy it. Throw the product away if you can't find anybody to buy it. Go and find people that are ready to buy now. Find out what they're ready to buy and sell it to them. Why make life hard? Excuse me. So that's really what I wanted to cover. I want you to be really focused on getting your mindset right, working on your personal development. You should be spending at least an hour a day on that. 30 minutes reading books, something like this is a good one. There are lots of them. Think and Grow Rich. Been talking too long, I think. It is, of course, one of the classics. Oh dear, excuse me. Magnetic Sponsoring by Mike Dillard. I think I got a copy of that here somewhere. This is his latest version. He revamped it all, and it's got one or two new things in it. Uh, 30 minutes a day, and then another 30 minutes a day listening to positive audios. Oh dear, excuse me again. It seems to have lost its effectiveness. Listening to positive audios, or to watching videos, personal development videos. Spend at least an hour a day on working on yourself, getting your mindset right, making sure you have clear goals and when you're going to achieve them. Understanding that unless you have those clear goals and you have them imprinted on your brain, they're not going to happen. One of the best ways of getting them imprinted, some of you will have seen these things before. I mean, I always have a book like this, and every day I write my goals out. Each of these pages is a day. I managed to get my goals précis into 2 lines, and I write them out, like kids have to do that are naughty at school, write lines. Why do the teachers get them to do that? One, because it's a punishment. It means they've got to do something. But 2, because when they're writing something, they're using the sense of touch, thought, visual, seeing. It's impressing on them that I must not talk in class, I must not talk in class, I must not talk in class. And you can do the same with your goals. And I've had people that do this, and after 3 weeks they stop doing it because dear, oh dear, sorry. 3 weeks they stop doing it because they've not seen any results. Let me tell you, I've been writing my goals out for years and years and years, and sometimes to get one goal through takes years and years and years. Sometimes you will see parts of them already be achieved, and then you can drop that out and add something else in its place. But what you write down and commit into your mind as accomplished should always be in the present tense, something that you've already done. It's there, just not been delivered yet, if you like. It's like ordering your Porsche or whatever it is you wanted. It's yours, you've paid for it, it's there, just not been delivered. And that's the way your goals should be treated. They're there, they are going to happen. In fact, they've happened, just waiting for delivery. And so that's something else. If you get your mindset right, you will see that everything else will fall into place. Some news I have for members of, if they're members of SOAP Simple Fast Cash program, is that the lost track, I'm sorry. Oh yeah. SOAP Simple Fast Cash program. It's a program where we provide all the basic tools for people who are starting out in business online. We give them website hosting, autoresponders, lots of other tools. An absolutely ridiculous price, which people would pay more for just the hosting than we charge, and we pay massive commissions, and that's been at $7 a month for a long time, and it's going to stay at $7 a month. But we have also introduced an annual subscription, which will save people a little bit of cash. It gives them effectively, I think, 6 weeks free. So that they pay $74 for a year. And the advantage of that for members that are selling is, instead of getting just $5 a month commission, you get a year's commission straight up. So you can make $60 with one sale of $74. There are lots of benefits to that. One of the immediate benefits, of course, is that you can make more money faster. If you make 10 sales at $74 in a month, you'll make $600. And what you get for $74 is actually worth something like, I don't know, it is worked out somewhere. But it's thousands. It runs into thousands of dollars of value. So it's a little bit of a no-brainer. Selling 10 of them a month is really very, very easy. We've got new videos that'll be available about that, and that will enable you to make okay, it's not a fortune when we're talking about $600 a month, but it can be life-changing for some people. $600 a month can mean the difference between being able to pay the rent, not being able to pay the rent, and this sort of thing. So that's one of the changes we've got, and that is something that is exciting, and I believe will help people make a lot more money a lot faster. We've also introduced, it's being installed as I speak now. I can see there's a Skype message there from the programmer who's installing this for us, and that's split testing. I talk to you constantly about the need to split test and track everything you do, but we've not had the ability to do that within the program. Well, it's going to be there from sometime later on today. As I say, it's being installed as we speak. This has been a program specifically built and designed for us, and it'll allow our members to split test everything they do, to test and track and split test, so that you can say, okay, this landing page does better than this landing page, so we're going to get rid of that one, we're keeping this one, we're going to bring in a new one, and we'll test those. So this one's still doing better than that one, so we keep that one, bring in a new one. Okay, this one now is doing better than that one, so we'll get rid of that one, and this now comes with the control. And we can do that, and it's not just A/B split testing. We can do it with 3, 4, 5, a number of different pages or whatever. So that's an exciting thing that we've added in. It's something I've wanted to be there for some time, and only now is it going to be available. And once again, it's all included for $74 a year. So you get all sorts of stuff. Let me see if I can just find here you go. You get unlimited website hosting. You get an autoresponder. Now, most people are paying $19 a month or more for an autoresponder. You get unlimited website hosting. Most people are paying more than $7 a month for unlimited website hosting. I know you can get it from $2 or $3, but unlimited, $7 is a good price. We've got a lead capture system. Most people are paying for lead capture systems $17. I've seen them selling for $97 a month, but we've got it in at $17 a month. The split tester is worth at least $29 a month. I've seen those selling for a lot more. We have a URL rotator, which is $7 a month. It is about the going rate for those. We have a computer backup, so you can back up all your files, all your videos, your pictures, your music, those family photographs that you want to make sure that never lost, legal documents, and especially when you're in business, all your business documents, those are backed up automatically, and that usually starts at about $8.99 a month. We give you a product every month that you can sell. You can use it to either sell, or you can use it to yourself, or you can give it away to attract people onto your list. There are lots of ways of things that you can do with that. The value of those products ranges from $17 up to about $97, but I think we've taken it as 17 to 47, and I said there's an average of $32 a month there. Most companies that allow you to promote their products charge you an affiliate fee on top of everything else, and that usually ranges from $20 to $30. So let's say $25 a month. The total value of that is $144.99 per month, just for the basic packages that we're offering there. That's an annual value of $1,739.88. And I would have put this on the screen for you, but because my screen's blacked out, I'm not sure. I think I might lose you if I tried to do things. So we've got an annual value there, and this isn't built up by saying, oh, well, we've got this ebook that's got 5 pages in it, and it's really got information worth $1,000. So this is what people are paying for these services now. People buying these services now are paying $145 a month and more for all the things that we're offering. Okay, they're paying $1739.88 and more a year for the same products that we're offering for $74 a year. And if that's not a no-brainer, I don't know what is. And you make $60 commission on a $74 sale. So how hard can it be to make 10 sales, 15 sales? You're looking at almost $1,000. And there is extra leverage in that we have a pass up as well. So you could be making a lot more than that. 2 sales a week. Very, very simple. $1,700 worth of value for $74. So those are the couple of things I wanted to talk to you about. And oh, I got my picture back. Let me see then. It's just suddenly come back. Let me see if I can just put that up on the screen. Give me a second. Here we go. Screen share. There it is. Okay. That's what you get with the Simple Fast Cash basic package. Now we have upgrades on all these things. We give you, you can get unlimited computer backup for 5 or 6 or 10 computers or whatever you want. You can get an autoresponder that's got unlimited subscribers and unlimited messages, and so there are upgrades on these, but basics, these are to get you going. That is what you get now. And we are doing that at $74 a year, not a month, $74 a year. And if you sell that package, you make $60. Why is that important? As I say, obviously, because you can make some money quickly. If you sell 2 a week, you're on $1,000 a month, near enough. Now then, if you are doing paid advertising, you need something that produces sufficient income from your paid advertising to cover the cost of your advertising. And then you can go on and add in extra value. You want to be building your list through paid advertising that is self-funding. If you're selling products that you're making $20, $30, $40 on, you're going to struggle. Once you start getting over $50, then it becomes possible to fund your paid advertising. And that's why another reason why we've brought in this. It means you can get into paid advertising and you can make a profit on your advertising and be building your list. And once you've built your list, you build rapport with your list, and you can monetize your list by providing value to your followers. And the more value you provide for them, the happier they'll be to pay for some of the things that are paid value. Okay, there'll be some things that you'll be giving them, and some things that they'll need that they will need to pay for, and they'll be happy to do that if they understand the value that's involved. So that is another reason. Those are the two reasons we've got there. But this A/B split tester, I'm very pleased to tell you, is going to be with you. It should be with you today. As I say, they're installing it now. I've got a message there, something about needs to install a new database. So as soon as I get off here, I'll be back onto him, and that will be going to the. I'll be going to the. Anyway, I'm glad I've got my screen back. I'm sorry we didn't have it throughout the presentation today. But I'm glad that we managed to get things done. Now, I'm here. Are there any questions? I'm happy to answer questions on anything marketing related to anything at all. Doesn't have to be connected with Simple Fast Cash program or SOAP. Any marketing related problems or questions, I'm happy to answer them. We're scheduled to finish at 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock now, and if we don't get any questions, then I will thank you all for being here, and I will be moving on. We're also launching our Turnkey Cash Cow 2 program, and I'm shooting the last video of that later on today. That's got a really nice funnel. I don't know whether we can show you one of the squeeze pages for that. Let me just see if I've got one of the squeeze pages for that available. Yeah, here we go. How do I get that? There we go. Screen share again. There we go. Awesome squeeze page. This is converting very well. It's converting at over 40%. So we've got over 40% opting in with this squeeze page. And they of course get great value in this report. Hot conversions for cool profits. How to get 10 times more conversions from you spending the same amount of money, essentially, just making more sales. So that's the beginning of one of our funnels, and then it goes on. It sells, first of all, the Simple Fast Cash annual program for $74. Then there's an upsell to the Turnkey Cash Cow program, which is something I believe every marketer should be involved in, because we'll teach you everything there is to know about making money online. And once you know it, you'll be able to write your own paychecks. But that can take time. It depends on your aptitude. It depends on your attitude. It depends on whether you really want to do that or not. So actually making money and getting to the level where you can put that all into practice on your own, create your own products, make $1 million a month or whatever you want to with the information that we're providing for you. While you're getting there, this guarantees you income, because we'll be making sales for you of the program, and we'll guarantee you're going to make a profit every month with this program, Turnkey Cash Cow. And you can get involved in that with all the training, everything that's with it, a massive package worth over $50,000. And at the moment, we're selling that for just under $2,000. And that is incredible value, something that everybody marketing online should be in. So that's exciting. I think the current pricing we have is far too low, and so once we've gone for probably I don't know, 3 months, depends how long it takes us to get to, say, 500 members. I'm sure that it's going to go up probably to $5,000 at least. But that's it. So that was, just wanted to show you that as well, bring you a little bit up to date on what's going on. And just check if we've got any questions. Still no questions. Nobody got any questions. Everybody making all the money they want then. That's good news. So I would like to, who have we got in here? Trish, hi Trish. Wolfgang, Nagaraju, I don't know you, I don't think. Are we back? Okay. That's me. I've got a lot to do. I'm only just getting back into the working groove. I hope you found that useful. Concentrate on what's going on up here, because what's going on up here is going to control what's going in here. Okay, the more you want in here, the more you need to work on this, and that is a fact. So if I can help you with any of that, let me know. God bless you all, and thanks for coming. And that's me. No questions. Okay, bye.